What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. Welcome back to another video. Now, in this one, I want to talk about Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is a project that is a meme coin and does not really have any type of major utility. I'll put that out there, right? So when it came to Shiba Inu being available and being talked about and being popular, it was all surrounding what the normal investor could gain. And honestly, behind any meme coin's narrative, that's kind of the driving force. The community drives it up because of what it could be. And early adopters will obviously gain the most. If you're the person that put in $8,000 in the beginning stages of Shiba Inu, you turned it to $5.2 billion, right? At some point. I don't know if it was at the high point, but at some point. Literally a billionaire because you decided to invest into a coin that essentially had no value and it just had strength from the community. This shows that supply and demand really does rule this world, really does rule the investment world. Because if we literally had, let's say, no ETFs, no traditionalist investing to where people are buying and leaving it there, setting it and forgetting it, right? And we just had individual positions that we're investing into, and retail traders were making huge moves here and there, and quick moves, and day trading and swing trading, and that was kind of the biggest portion of that. The stock market would be insanely volatile as well. But with all of that consistency, with the set and forget it mentality, and many other things, ownership, institutional ownership as well, you're not seeing as much fluctuation, which is great, fantastic. But it also gives them predictability and also control over what the overall position does. That's why they say don't invest into something that's 70% owned by institutions. But backtrack a little bit, we're kind of getting off track. Shiba Inu is a fantastic project because of that community driven build. And the dream, right? The dream to that was to get to $1. The dream was to see Shiba Inu at a value that was just unheard of, right? If we had a 100 million Shiba Inu, a billion Shiba Inu, you found a way to get SHIB to $1, you now have $1 billion. That sounds easy enough. Sounds amazing. It sounds like it could be quicker than what you would be used to money. Not just get rich quick, but quicker than you'd be used to. It could be a number of years, could be 5 years, 10 years down the line, but you can make $1 billion. And most people, they would say, $1 billion, I'll settle for 1 million. I'll settle for 5 million. I will take that. I'll settle for 100,000, right? There are people that invested $1,000 and want to see it grow by 100x. And that's fantastic. You probably could see that. There are many 100x opportunities that are out there. And Shiba Inu definitely was one of those. Investing $8,000 and turning it into $5 billion, that's more than 100x. That's a absolute life-changing, generational changing amount of money. But with that, we're now how many years in? Almost 5 years in. And where is that dream now? That $1 dream that we all wanted to get to, where's the reality now? And I want to talk about that in this video, because the reality is I'm getting comments that are telling you what the reality is, where Shiba Inu might not reach $1. It has a strong possibility of not reaching $1, not reaching a penny, but still being worth a heck of a lot and giving people those 10, 20x's that they really want. It's just not giving you the 100 or 1,000 or 10,000x that we all dream of having. So with that being said, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter or follow me on Patreon, those links are in the description. Also, don't forget about my link for Margex down below. If you guys want to go and trade on Margex, feel free to check out my link down below for Margex, where you can trade up to a 25x leverage. You can go over here, select Shiba Inu, and you can trade up to 25x leverage on Shiba Inu. Now, it is risky to do so, and understand the risk, because if you lose 4% in the price, right? If the price drops by 4%, you lose absolutely everything that you put in there. So it's very risky if you do it at a 25x leverage. 5x leverage, if it loses 20%, then you lose everything that's in there. So it's still very risky, more risky than you buying outright, but you also get 5 times what you invested. So if you invest $100, you're technically trading with $500, meaning that you'll get the gains from $500 while only risking 100. So it's on you to say whether you want to do that, but make sure you understand leverage trading before you dive into it, because you can lose a lot of money if you are not careful and if you don't understand it. So make sure you check out the link down below. I have a lot of links for Margex and leverage trading on my Patreon, so feel free to check that out as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into kind of what we're talking about here. We go over to CoinMarketCap. We're going to see a couple of things that are up, right? If we look at the top 100 coins, things that are up the most, FTX is up by 20%, Beam up by 9%, Celestia up by 8%. But then you also see Shiba Inu. That's fourth on the list, up by 7%. And this is on a day where things are kind of recovering just a little bit from the downturn that we saw in the last 2 days, and especially with XRP and what happened with the appeal situation. But it's up by 7.3% as of right now. I don't know what it is when you're watching this video, because I don't know when I'll upload it, but it is up 7.3%, down 20% over the last 7 days. So still trying to recover, but it's up a little bit more. Shiba Inu currently stands at a $10 billion market cap with about $400 or $500 million worth of volume and 589 trillion coins in supply. That leads me into where we should go. The supply. In the beginning stages, the supply is what all mattered. If we could find a way to decrease that supply to, instead of being trillions, it's now billions, we can get us to drop zeros, multiple zeros. But the community wanted to build things, and the ecosystem dev team didn't want the community to build things, so they decided to say anything the community is building to burn is a scam. Don't do it, don't follow it, don't do anything with it. So the community kind of backed off and let the ecosystem dev team do what they were doing. Well, they didn't really burn anything, and it took them until last year in order to decide to burn something, even after all of the millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars that we spent on the things that they are creating, whether it's Bone, Leash, the metaverse, metaverse lands, the NFTs, multiple NFTs, the freaking book with clone or whatever the heck they were selling. You had a bunch of different things that they were doing, and we hoped that they would burn with that, and they did not. Shibarium, a big part. Yes, they did have some burns that were going through, but it was not consistent. And I don't believe they've done any burns for a very long time, even though you've reached thresholds and you needed to burn a lot. But in the face of collapsing Bone, I guess that's probably the reason why they decided not to really do that. But just like everything else, they gave up on those things. But I'll put that to the side, not making this about bashing the ecosystem dev team, which I've done in many different videos. What this is about is whether this dream is still alive. Right now, we're still seeing the same amount of supply, trillions wise, from that level, that perspective, as we were seeing in the past. 589 trillion has not changed. 5 years in, has not changed. That's kind of sad. To say that we had a goal to burn down, trillions per year, and we never got to that goal. We had a goal to burn down even hundreds of billions per year. We never got to that goal. And all of it was stripped from us as a community. So is the $1 dream still alive? It can't be, right? There's a fraction, there is something that still says, hey, this could be a possibility, because you never know. A bunch of people with a ton of money could say, we want to burn down Shiba Inu for some ungodly reason. We never know. So there's always a small percentage chance, like a very, very small percentage chance, but it doesn't mean that it's a shoo-in to happen. So is the dollar dream completely dead? It's not completely dead, but it's like buried alive right now with limited oxygen. Like that's kind of where that stands. But when we look at a better level, we look at the 1 cent dream, we look at, the fraction of a penny dream, then yes, we can keep that alive as we get closer and closer to reasonable numbers market cap wise. Then we could say, yeah, that could be alive. We can get all the way up to $1 trillion and say that's more possible than getting to $1, which would be 589 trillion. That's just not going to happen, in my opinion. So I don't want to burst anyone's bubble to say, hey, Matt, you were talking about how this could get to $1 for such a long time. And yes, while those things were implemented, I was hopeful, very hopeful. I saw the community, I saw what the community was doing, And the one thing that I didn't like was even things that I was doing, the ecosystem dev team was like, no, you're scamming. I'm like, I'm showing my face the whole entire time. I'm ready to see more and more burns. And they're just like, no. And what does that make people do? It makes them quit. And if they quit, if it's a coin, if it's whatever, and they quit and they have a backing, like they can't do anything about it. And then now it looks absolutely horrible on their end because they quit on their customers, right? And it's all because of the backlash. It's all because of what they told their followers to do to that business. And one that comes to mind is Bigger Entertainment. Bigger Entertainment caught a lot of backlash, and I think they still catch a lot of backlash. But they're surviving, they're thriving, they're doing things. And I've talked to I can't think of his name at this point, but I've talked to them, and obviously they're doing well. They're not doing the same thing that they were doing before when it comes to burning Shiba Inu, but they moved aside. They moved to another thing that actually does support them and everything there. So, anyways, not to make this a crazy long video, Shiba Inu, the $1 dream is still slightly alive, but is on life support. We're more focused on the 10, 20, 30 X gains rather than the 10,000 and 100,000 X gains. I mean, that's just how it goes at this point. Guys, let me know what you think about this. Let me know your honest opinion down below. This all comes from a comment that I got recently saying that, the $1 dream is not alive, and I don't know why people are saying it. So if you know that you put that comment down there, thank you for that comment, because I typically grab my inspiration from the comments in the video. So feel free to let me know what you think about this situation down below. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching and taking the time out of your day to watch me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.